Could Kyrie Irving be going to the Lakers? Well, it was certainly looking that way for a hot minute, but now things have changed in a big way. Because if there's one thing that Kyrie is very consistent about, it's going and making a mess of things instead of just trying to be the best basketball player around, which many agree he has the talent to do. But even when he gets the situation like he wants, he makes a mess of it. Case in point, the Brooklyn Nets were told by Kyrie that he would be fine getting traded to other teams. One team being the Lakers. And yet, now he's opted into his deal again, leaving everyone wondering, what just happened? The opt-in. Kyrie Irving is opting into his $36.5 million option with the Brooklyn Nets for next season. He told The Athletic on Monday, "Normal people keep the world going, but those who dare to be different lead us into tomorrow," Irving told The Athletic. "I've made my decision to opt in. See you in the fall." Irving had created a list of teams he would have liked the Nets to consider working with on a sign-and-trade deal if they couldn't agree on terms for him to stay in Brooklyn. But the Los Angeles Lakers were the only team known to be interested, sources told ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Hence why some felt a Kyrie for Anthony Davis deal was on the table. But apparently, now it's not. Surprising no one because this is very much how Kyrie Irving works. The failed move. Without the ability to find a sign-and-trade deal, Irving plans to exercise his player option. Sources confirmed. He has until 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday to file the paperwork to opt in. Irving is now no longer eligible for a sign-and-trade deal. The Nets could still work to trade him as an expiring contract, but Irving would have no formal voice in a potential landing spot. He has until June 30th of next year to work out an extension with the Nets before becoming an unrestricted free agent. Irving, 30, averaged 27.4 points, 5.8 assists, and 4.4 rebounds last season, but played in only 29 regular season games. By deciding to not get vaccinated against COVID-19, Irving was ineligible to play in New York City much of the season because of a city vaccination mandate for employees, and the Nets resisted having him as a part-time player until January. When he did play, Irving reminded everyone just how talented he still is, as evidenced by a stretch in March and April when he scored at least 40 points in 4 games, including 60 during a March 15th win over the Orlando Magic. There were usually large gaps in between when he could play, until New York City Mayor Eric Adams reversed course in late March and allowed a vaccination exemption for athletes and performers. Irving played in all 4 games of the Nets' first-round loss to the Boston Celtics in the playoffs. A loss, by the way, that was full-on sweep despite having both Irving and Kevin Durant in the lineup, showing that their talent isn't enough at times. A 7-time All-Star and 3-time All-NBA selection, Irving has averaged 27.1 points and 6 assists while shooting 49% from the field and 40.6% from 3 over the past 3 seasons. But due to a variety of injuries and other issues off the floor, he has played in just 103 regular season games over that span. So all in all, you have to wonder, what was the point of all this? We'll never likely know given that it's Kyrie we're talking about here. So let's shift gears and focus on the other player in this situation. Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis always seemed to be injured for the Lakers and set to make $121.8 million through the 2024-25 season. It could make a lot of sense for Los Angeles to try and move the All-Star big man right now while he still holds a ton of value on the market. It is going to be extremely difficult for the Lakers to try and trade Anthony Davis should they be wanting to do so in the offseason we're now in, simply because of the fact that he has a lot of yellow flags attached to him. His injury and the durability concerns loom large right now, and not many rebuilding teams in this league would likely be willing to give up a ton of future assets to bring in Davis right now. Not to mention, $38 million for the 2022-23 season is a lot of trade value that many teams cannot match right now, or in the offseason for that matter. Should they want to trade Anthony Davis, there will be interest around the league, but landing another top player will be extremely difficult for the Lakers to do. But that isn't to say that there isn't people who couldn't trade for him, because there are. Oklahoma City Thunder. If there is one team in the league that has the capability to trade for any player, it is the Oklahoma City Thunder, simply because of all the future assets that they own. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey are likely untouchable in trade talks, but Luguentz Dort, Darius Bazley, Aleksej Pokusevski, Theo Maledon, and Jeremiah Robinson Earl could all be moved in a massive package deal for Anthony Davis. Plus, the Thunder own the rights to 35 total draft picks through 2028. Any combination of draft picks and young talents are on the table for a trade involving the Oklahoma City Thunder right now, and Anthony Davis could be the perfect all-star for them to build with, especially since he's only 28 years old and the Thunder have an immediate need for a big man in their front court. 3 first-round picks, 1 or 2 second-round picks, Luguentz Dort, and Darius Bazley could be enough value for the Lakers to take back in a trade with the Thunder centered around Anthony Davis. That is, if they are fully committed to rebuilding. Charlotte Hornets. Another team besides the Oklahoma City Thunder who could show a level of interest in Anthony Davis is the Charlotte Hornets. For quite some time now, the Hornets have been trying to fix the problems in their front court. And while Mason Plumlee and recently acquired Montrezl Harrell have played well, these two are still not the future of the Hornets' front court. LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier have the backcourt tied up, but the need for a true threat in the front court is very apparent in Charlotte right now and may be the final piece to making them a real threat in the Eastern Conference. Anthony Davis is not only an elite-level offensive talent when healthy, but he is one of the best defensive players in the league. Running pick-and-roll sets with LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier would be highly advantageous to the Charlotte Hornets, and they have quite a few assets to talk trades with. Gordon Hayward is starting to get up there in years, making him a possible offseason trade asset for this team, and Miles Bridges is going to be a very attractive trade piece for this team after the season he has put together. At just 23 years old and being a double-double threat on the wing, Miles Bridges could be exactly what the Los Angeles Lakers would like to add on the wing in a trade involving Anthony Davis. PJ Washington could be included in a trade for more future value going to Los Angeles, as could rookies James Bouknight and Kai Jones. The Charlotte Hornets also have a handful of draft picks, all of which they could package together in a trade for Anthony Davis. Many feel the team is on the verge of becoming much better, so perhaps Davis is what they need to go over that edge and into winning time territory. Teams in flux. The true big-picture situation here for both the Nets and the Lakers is the simple fact that they are teams in flux. They have all the talent that should lead them to the NBA Finals, and many felt at the beginning of the year that a Nets-Lakers final was possible, but has proven to not exactly be the case. Injuries, tougher conferences, and on-off-the-court issues with players like Kyrie are holding the teams back from their full-on potential, whatever that may be. This upcoming season is going to be crucial for both teams because they made big deals to get players to their squads to get titles. And if they can't even get to the playoffs or make it past the first round, then they're definitely in a position in which they need to reevaluate what they're doing. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the situation with Kyrie Irving, how he once again made a complicated situation, and how he backed out of it at the last possible moment, as well as what the Lakers might do with Anthony Davis? Do you think that something will happen with Kyrie this season, or that Anthony Davis will get traded soon? Will the Kyrie saga ever truly end? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the channel.